The meditation is by Jamila Batchelder and Molly Hoosh Gordon. So take a moment, close your eyes, relax your shoulders, unclench your fists, take some deep breaths, and imagine yourself next to your favorite body of water. The strength of water takes on many, many forms, just as each of you has a unique and necessary strength that you bring to our community and to the work of love. Take a moment now to drop down into the deep wellspring in your spirit and bathe yourself in the strength that is the groundwater of your person. Are you a roaring fall, wearing rock away with sheer force of will? Are you a tiny drop of water in a crevice, breaking it open slowly, steadily? Are you buoyant, like a great salt lake, practiced at holding others aloft? Are you tenacious, like the mountain stream, finding your way down and around every obstacle you face? Are you still and calm, like the pond at daybreak, offering radiant peace by your shores? Are you in touch with hidden depths, pulling from a vast well? Do you soothe like the steam rising from a cup of tea? Do you dissolve away stubborn muck like water left in a pot to soak? Do you soften and smooth the edges like a creeping fog? Do you clear away distraction like a cleansing rain? Do you roll with the ebb and flow with the ocean waves? Settle your mind upon the strength, the power that is yours. Draw that strength into your heart. Draw it up into your soul. As we gather together today, the many waters of the community, we need each of your power, each of your resilience, and each of your love to make us whole. Namaste. Water. Water sustains us, it cleans us, it soothes us, it terrifies us. Water can wipe us out instantly with a flood, and yet patiently wear away the Grand Canyon over millennia. Water is a necessity of life. We cannot live without it. We are required to consume it, or we will die. We can survive without food for several days, but not without water. In an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, the crew of the Enterprises encounters a species made of pure light. Our crew has as much difficulty accepting that physical existence as the light species has difficulty accepting ours. Once communication is established, they call us humans ugly bags of mostly water. Let's face it, that kind of defines who we are, doesn't it? And now that you can't unsee that image, think about this. Our bodies are 55 to 60% water. We hold about 10 gallons of water in our bodies all the time. Blood is about 50% water. Muscle tissue is about 80% water. Bones are about 30% water. And according to some statistics, we should be taking in about 10 to 15 cups of water a day. Of course, that number varies. Our beautiful planet Earth is about 71% water. It's why we look like a big, beautiful blue marble in the sky from outer space. 97% of that water is undrinkable salt water. Only about 3% is fresh water, with the majority of it locked in glaciers and ice caps, leaving less than 1% readily accessible for human use. Water on Earth exists as a solid, a liquid, a gas, and is constantly moving in the water cycle through processes like evaporation, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, and surface runoff. And this has to sustain 8 billion lives on Earth. This rare, precious commodity and necessity of life is in trouble. Melting glaciers are shrinking worldwide at an accelerating rate due to human-caused climate change, primarily from greenhouse gas emissions. This global phenomenon has significant impacts, including contributing to sea level rise, threatening water supplies for millions, and increasing natural hazards like floods. Even with emissions reductions, a substantial portion of the world's glaciers is expected to melt by 2100. The photo on the cover of your order of service today was taken by my son-in-law, Andrew Beckham. He spends every summer hiking the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains. We're not talking about little hikes, we're talking about going all the way up. And this summer he was focused on the decline of the glaciers. This picture is above the Chaos Glacier headwall last May. Andrew says, the glaciers in Colorado are dying. Most technically are not glaciers anymore. They carry that name, but most are permanent snowfields that never entirely disappear, but do not have that mass of ice that becomes movement that defines a glacier. The question is, are any of our glaciers truly active anymore? The world is facing a growing water crisis characterized by scarcity, pollution, and inadequate access to safe drinking water and sanitation. This crisis is driven by factors including population growth, climate change, poor water management, impacting billions of people and threatening livelihoods, food security, and ecosystems. Competition over scarce water resources can escalate tensions between communities and nations, potentially leading to conflict. Do you drink water from plastic bottles? Bottled water, while often perceived as a safer alternative to tap water, can pose potential dangers due to microplastic contamination, chemical leaching, and the environmental impact of plastic waste. While generally considered safe, tap water can pose certain health risks due to various contaminants. These include heavy metals like lead and arsenic, harmful bacteria and viruses, and industrial chemicals. Exposure to these contaminants can lead to various health issues, ranging from mild gastrointestinal problems to more serious conditions like cancer and developmental disorders. While water filters generally improve water quality by removing contaminants, they can also pose some dangers if not properly maintained or if they remove beneficial substances. Potential dangers include bacterial contamination from filter buildup, removal of essential minerals, and the potential for filters to become less effective over time. But take heart, it's not all bad news. There is good news about water, which includes increasing global progress on providing access to clean water, with millions more people gaining access and significant efforts by organizations like water.org to improve water security. Recently, on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, contestants Matt Damon and Ken Jennings won the $1 million prize and donated it all to water.org. Technological advancements are also emerging, such as method for removing microplastics and the successful recovery of marine ecosystems like kelp forests within protected areas. Additionally, large-scale charitable initiatives and international frameworks are working to accelerate progress on water and sanitation goals. Scientists have developed a new filter that can remove nearly all type of cancer-causing forever chemicals from water. The UN 2023 Water Conference adopted the Water Action Agenda to advance sustainable water management and access to clean water. Breakthrough technologies like atmospheric water generators, advanced desalination methods using renewable energy, and smart water grids are transforming water sustainability. Between 2015 and 2024, the proportion of the world's population with access to safely managed drinking water increased from 68% to 74%. In a decade after lead-contaminated water was found in Flint, Michigan's water system, the legal battle to replace lead water pipes is finished, a landmark milestone for a city defined by its dangerous water. In July, the state of Michigan submitted a progress report confirming that nearly 11,000 lead pipes were replaced and more than 28,000 properties were restored. So, take care of your water needs. Get a good water jug. Keep it clean. Try to avoid plastic bottles. If you use a water filter, change the filter and scrub the container. Plant some trees and respect all the ways that water serves your life. We say that we are concerned about destroying our planet. I say that Mother Earth will take care of herself. She's already started to tell us that we are failing to treat her with respect. She's sending us more fire, more water, and more wind. She will oversee her survival and kick us off the planet if necessary. Mother Earth will survive with or without us. So we need to be better caretakers and listeners. The original intent of this ritual goes back to 1980, where two Unitarian Universalist women, Carolyn McDade and Lucille Shuck Longview, were asked to create a worship service for the Women and Religion Continental Convocation of Unitarian Universalists. McDade and Longview wanted to create a new ritual that spoke to our connectedness to one another, to the totality of life, and to our place on the planet. They included a new inclusive symbol of women's spirituality, water. That November service was called Coming Home Like Rivers to the Sea. McDade and Longview asked 8 women to bring water from different regions of the country. Each poured water into the communal bowl and described the significance. As the ritual has continued, says Carolyn McDade, water deepens in meaning for us, just as water deepens during the long and winding journey to the sea. Each of us brings something unique to the fellowship. Today, we are asking you to bring symbolic water to share with the congregation. It's an extension of the milestones. You can say something about the water, where it came from, or how it represents some transition in your life. By combining our resources, the strength of our congregation's community increases. The whole is more than individual portions. Once gathered, we will share this in our garden to encourage our plants to grow as we are encouraged to grow in our covenant. So at this time, we invite each of you to pour water into the fellowship communal bowl. If you brought some with you, you're welcome to pour that. If not, please feel free to pour something from the pitcher. Tell us briefly about the importance of the water you're sharing. This water represents the fellowship to me. It's a big, important part of my life, and sometimes I think I live here. Some people think maybe I have a cot when I sleep here. But it is an important part of my life, and I'm really happy to be part of it. Now it's your turn.
I'm Nicole. My water isn't necessarily a milestone. It's more of a representation of feeling that I've been accepted by you guys. I really appreciate all the smiling faces every weekend. My water actually came from my watering can for my plants. It contains heather for protection of my family, and it contains cinnamon for abundance, and I wish that for all of you as well.
I was going to talk about the water on our recent trip, but I changed my mind. Instead, I wanted to mention the positive power of water and our natural environment on us. I've used environmental sounds with clients for years, and I fairly recently worked with very seriously mentally ill people. And one of the things that always was beneficial with them was when we would do meditation with the rainfall. So I think it's really important to remember that when, I'm thinking about all the other times when water was not a positive impact on our lives here. Always keeping in mind that in general, it can have a very positive impact.
Patty and I traveled a lot this summer, and probably the most significant to me was at the beginning of the summer I went to the Baltic countries with the chamber choir as their photographer, and I learned, I had never been to any of the Baltic countries. We went to Estonia, Latvia, and Sweden, and they were all wonderful, beautiful. We landed in Helsinki and crossed the Baltic to Estonia on a ship, and that was wonderful. But the most interesting thing to me was I had never been to Stockholm and didn't realize that it's known as the Venice of the North. It's built on 14 islands and is kind of the gateway to the Stockholm archipelago, which is hundreds of islands, and it's just a gorgeous place, and I highly recommend it.
Hi, I'm Patty, and I am very grateful for water. My mom died this year, January 25th, and one thing we had in common was we went boating every week. We went boating, we went water skiing, and even my mom, at a tiny little thing that she was, we encouraged her to try water skiing, and she said, "Oh, I can't do that." I said, "I think you can. Hold on to the handle, and Dad will pull the boat, and it'll bop you on top." And that's what happened. And I just still am grateful for those moments with them, with the water.
Hello, my name is Emily, and I'm pouring this water as representing the fluidity of life. That today I brought a friend in for one reason. It turns out he wants to get into forestry, and I wish Emma Wilson were here so I could introduce him. And I just realized instead of trying to force the networking, you just have to let it happen. We're all part of a congregation, and nature will have us come together when the timing is right, and the less I try to force it, the more connections will happen. But this is an excerpt from one of the songs that that Emma liked I wanted to use to raise money for a forestry club and growing trees in Houston. It's to the tune of Selena. Think of the little birds that live off grains. How many people on earth could we sustain? But we're feeding cows while hungry mouths remain. A false economy is not reality. Let's bring out the truth like the sun and the rains. Restore the oceans and let the forests grow back, or else our children won't have much of a planet. Clean air and water may soon be as endangered as the animals who eat out of the hand of Mother Nature. Love every creature. Protect the oceans, don't let the forests vanish. Let's break the habit of damaging the planet. Before we stop global violence and killing, we gotta start by showing more respect for all living things. Think of your children. Restore the oceans and let the forests grow back for all the children inheriting the planet. Our sons and daughters are just as endangered as the animals who crawl upon the land from along the seashore. Love every creature. Thank you.
I hope everybody realizes how important water is. There would be no plants and no animals without water. Every plant and every animal needs water. Without water, there would be no butterflies, no roses, no trees, no watermelon, and no swimming pools. I love to swim. It's good exercise. Let's keep our water clean and safe.
Too much or too little? I recently had a root canal done to me, and while I was in the chair, I was being overwhelmed by the saliva that was in my mouth, and I thought I was going to drown, and then they put this device to suck it out of me, and I survived, obviously. So too much water in the form of saliva can be dangerous.
I'm pouring more water to symbolize this fellowship. I have found such joy here and such sense of community, and I look forward to Sundays, which was something that had gone missing in my life until I found the fellowship. So that's what the water's for.
I'm Dan Altschul. My wife and I missed one or two of the Sunday sessions because we went on a hiking vacation, and we went to the Grand Canyon, and it's been created by the Colorado River. It's this wondrous, undescribable place.
Hi, my name is Sherry, and this water is not from the Colorado River, because we did not hike all the way down to the Colorado River. But it's wishful thinking. But the water that I wanted to talk about is simply, it's kind of hard to describe. I really feel unease when I live away from the water. We moved from, we got as close as we could to the shore of Lake Michigan, a quarter of a block away, and going to the beach here is just so soothing for me. I just want to say I think water is wonderful. I'm Laurie. I've been coming a little bit on and off lately.
So my water came from a special source. Nicole brought it to me from work. She works at a water treatment company, the water treatment company. And man, they make great water. And she brings home water to me every day, and I was trying to figure out, like, I don't really have any sacred water either. And I was like, wait, maybe the first person that ever brought you water, who still brings you water every day because she knows how much you love it, maybe that's sacred water for me, right? So I'm going to do this a little pagan style, if you guys don't mind. I'm facing west, the traditional direction associated with water. I anoint my brow with water. May it give me clear thought. I anoint my eyes with water. May it give me clear sight to see the goodness in the world. I anoint my lips with water so that I may speak only clear truth and clear support for everyone around me. I anoint my ears with water so that I may hear clearly what others need to be successful and helpful in their lives. Thank you.
Hello, Sam Philpott. My relationship with water is an interesting one. I had a 45-year construction career, and what I would do every morning before I went to work is I took a 5-gallon igloo cooler and I filled it with ice and water every morning. That was essential to the crew getting through the day. That's how essential water is. I want to tell you, there's nothing better when it's 90 degrees out and you're really hot than going to the cooler and getting that relief. That's my statement. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kimberly, and I'm going to talk about how I spent my summer vacation. As some of y'all know, I'm a teacher, and this summer I spent the summer going down to El Jardín Beach to go sailing with my father. The ocean, the water is how most of my fondest memories have been spent. Going to the beach as a child, sailing on my father's boat, and now sailing on my boat. And it's a way to connect with others and just great memories.
Hello, I'm Lynn Swanson. Yeah, that's my daughter Kimberly, and not ditto. But another water thing is right now we have a water catchment deal at our house where we collect rainwater and we use it for gardening and watering the lawn and stuff like that. And one of the supports broke, and it broke one of my barrels, and I'm in the process of repairing that. So it's working on that. But a byproduct of that is the barrel that broke. I'm going to be able to make it into a composting thing. So you try when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So thank you.
I'm Kathy Collins, and like Liz, I like to collect the rainwater, mainly because if I don't, the dirt becomes mud, so that I can repurpose it out into the grass later. But I grew up in a small town that had a spring, Itchtucky Springs, and it really reminds me how beautiful, besides functional, water is. The other function of water that I discovered or was reacquainted with this year, because it was such a hot summer,
was how if you put just a little bit of water on your skin and you're in front of the fan, it just dissipates and you get so much cooler.
Hello, I'm Angie. Water is life. When they look to see if there's life on other planets, they look for water. And when I was a kid, I used to think that rain symbolized God, because why doesn't the cloud just fall down? It sprinkles, and it's beautiful, and it's life-affirming. And I don't know if you know, but our rivers are in trouble in this country. The water, so much is being pulled off of the rivers for agriculture, and I was reading for some treatment plant. They were having to pull off so much water, and there was a problem with that. But it can also be used as a weapon. In Gaza, they had bombed water desalination plants, and it's used as a weapon. And that is just criminal, along with everything else that's going on over there. But water is it's life. That's what I wanted to say.
May the waters gathered here remind us of what each of us brings to this community, and of the waters that nourished us before we were even born, that continue to give us sustenance and energy for our life journeys and for all creatures on this earth. May it be so.